Concerns? What concerns? Job availability in Japan hit its highest in 22 years in June. Meanwhile, stocks continue on their hot streak. The chief economist of Japan Macro Advisors joins me down the line now for an economic update. Tak, the Japanese economy to some seems to be on a slide. You say the turning point, however, will be reflected in the results of Q2 2014. Could you talk us through what you mean by this, please?
It's been a year and a half since Abenomics started, and Japanese economy has been on a positive note for the last 18 months. However, starting from April-June quarter, we do think Japanese economy is in a more downbeat growth trend, especially April-June quarter. With judging from the June numbers, which are just coming in, it does seem that in this quarter, Japanese economy must have shrunk as much as 1.5%, which annualized is over 6%. So April-June quarter will be one of the first negative growth quarter for Japan.
Some economists are saying there are some worrisome signs for the Japanese economy, but yet overall, market is reflecting an optimistic view of the economy and expectations for earnings down the road. Yesterday, stocks hit another 6-month high. What is the driver for this glass half full feeling?
In this globalized economy, the stock market of anywhere in the world are actually moving pretty much in tandem. So, and the Japanese Nikkei is no exception. But when you look at the relative performance, Japanese Nikkei or Topix is one of the worst performer among developed countries. Nasdaq is up. It is renewing the historical high. European stocks are also doing better, leaving Nikkei or Topix as one of the only major stock indices which is actually down from the beginning of the year.
Japanese retail sales fell 0.6% in June. The previous result was on the negative side, but not sufficiently bad enough to force Japanese policymakers to modify their optimistic stance on the Japanese economy after the VAT hike. Could this month's result sway policymakers, though?
So Japanese policymaker has been maintaining that the negative shock from tax rate hike in April should be quite temporary. But then the number today we had today shows it is still prolonging, and we do expect that private consumer will gradually start to return to retail shops to resume their shopping. But the pace of recovery is much weaker and slower than Japanese government officials tend to like to think.
The yen kept its poker face on in reaction to the data. Against the dollar, it held steady at 101.84. But taking into consideration everything we have discussed and the future policy paths of the Bank of Japan and Fed, what is your outlook for the dollar yen moving forward?
From here to the end of the year, we don't really see any driver to move the yen dollar rate in either way. The Fed is still pondering on the eventual rate hike, and the Bank of Japan is also not doing much and is not intending to do much. So, what we need to think about is what are the risks, and I think the risk is definitely on the downside, and when that downside arrives, it could actually drive yen higher from here. So I don't think people seem to think that Fed is going to finish tapering and is going to go for a hike sometime next year. I think there's bound to be some negative events happening from here until they actually take place.
Tak, great to speak with you. Thank you for your time and insights. Well, that's all from me for the moment. Dear McDermott is bringing a LATAM themed interview today, so make sure you click back for that. Goodbye for now.